Let's take a look at multiplying and dividing powers. Now, when we did adding and subtracting powers, it was very important that we made sure we did the power first, and then we would solve the solution. Now, when it comes to multiplying and dividing can be kind of done a little bit differently, which we'll take a look at in learning goal number 20. But for today, we're just going to take a look at solving it in order of operations the same way that we normally would. So let's take a look at multiplying and dividing of powers. Now, order of operations states that powers need to be solved before multiplying or dividing the answer to the power. So the first thing we need to do is we need to solve for our powers. There we go. Okay. So when we're doing that, again, we need to remember to keep all the answers. So you can get that in here. All the answers to the powers in the correct place. Okay. Before completing the other operations. Okay, so we need to again make sure we put everything into the same place. We need to make sure we keep everything lined up exactly where it was before we complete any of the operations. So we start with our powers and then we move on from there. So let's start by solving the following operation. We have a multiplication operation where we have 4 squared and 5 cubed. Now again, there's no parentheses in here. We'll get into that in a little bit later. But for right now, we focus on that 4 squared and 5 cubed, and we do the powers first. So just like adding and subtracting, let's start by solving. Okay, 4 squared, this is a perfect square, so we can solve that. It's 16. Okay, and then times 5 cubed is a bit of a bigger one. Okay, you might be able to do that one in your head. You might not be able to. It is 125. Okay, we can think of it as 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. And so we get that as an answer. Now, once we have that, again, what we've done, just going to quickly draw it out here. We've put those into place. Okay, we have a 16 there. We have our 125 there. Next thing, okay, we have everything in standard form. Now we can do the rest of our operations. In this case, it's just multiplying. And so we're going to do 16 times 125, and we get an answer of 2,000. We get an answer of 2,000. And that would be solving for this this expression. Okay, so the answer to this expression is 2,000. First solve the powers, then do the multiplication. In the same thing, let's complete this statement here. We have 6 to the power of 3 and 3 squared divided by 3 squared. So this one right here, let's start again by solving the powers. 6 to the power of 3. We actually did this one earlier already in a different question. 6 to the power of 3 is 216. So let's just get back here. And 3 squared is 9. And so we're going to do what is that equal to? There we go. Just gonna again, I'm just gonna keep showing kind of where these things are coming from. And so 216 divided by 9. Again, we can do that using a calculator. It's going to give us an answer of 24. Remember that when we are doing these questions, we need to make sure that we are showing every step. Okay, not necessarily showing all the little diagrams that you might have used to solve it, but showing your answer to every single step, showing your answer to each power, showing your answer to the division statement. Okay, very important that we do that in every single question. Now, multiple operations, if we have multiple operations, they work exactly the same as a single operation. We solve for our powers first, and then we move along and solve each step in order, based on order of operations. So this one here, okay, most of these we should be able to do without a calculator here. 8 squared is 64, 4 squared is 16, and 3 cubed is 27. Now that one might be a bit more difficult for as we're cubing. We're not doing, it's not a squared, but 3 squared is 9, and then we multiply that by 3, and that's 27. Okay, so that was something that you may be able to do. Now the first thing, it's on the left, so we do this division first. 64 divided by 16, we need to do that first. So 64 divided by 16 is 4. That's a positive 4. And I'm just going to put this in here. 4 times 27. Okay, so now we have shown that we're solving for that one. 4 times 27 is 108. And you can use a calculator for that as well, but there we go. 420 is 108. And that gives us our final answer. Now, again, when we have multiple steps, we need to show every single step. Okay, don't just show the answer. Don't just plug it all into your calculator and say, there's the answer. I want to see your steps. I want to see you showing how you are solving every single question.